Season 2 Reloaded is this upcoming week for Modern Warfare 3 and likely will be fully revealed tomorrow either with a trailer, blog, maybe a combination of the two, but today I want to take some time to recap the weaponry that you should be aware of that will be coming to the game in Season 2 Reloaded. So as we go along, drop your thoughts down below. What do you think of these weapons coming? Were you hoping for a bit more? Liking what we're getting? Whatever the case, let me know. But if you enjoyed the video, do me a favor and drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to stay up to date with all things Modern Warfare 3 and all things FPS content here on the channel. Been loving breaking out into some variety stuff, so if you guys are enjoying that, I'd love to have you in the community. But for now, let's jump into Modern Warfare 3's Season 2 Reloaded weaponry. So first up, we know of two weapons upcoming within Season 2 Reloaded for Modern Warfare 3, the SOA Subverter and the Soulrender. Starting with the SOA Subverter, this is going to be a new battle rifle introduced into the fold, and you unlock this via weekly challenge. So just like we saw with the TAC Evolvery last season, the weekly challenges and all the aftermarket parts from then until now, unlocking these are simply just done by completing 5 challenges across the multiplayer, zombies, or battle royale segments of that week. You don't have to do 5 in each category. You don't have to do 5 in one specific category. You only have to do 5 total. So you could do 2 in multiplayer, 2 in zombies, 1 in battle royale, 1 in multiplayer, 3 in zombies, 1 in battle royale, you name it. Any combination that gets you 5 of those completions, it'll end up unlocking it for you. But for this, it's detailed as being chambered in 7.62 and is a hard-hitting rifle that dominates at mid to longer ranges thanks to a low rate of fire and predictable recoil. With excellent rate of fire and accuracy, manageable recoil, and a best-in-class sprint to fire and movement speeds, this also offers excellent headshot and target flinch potential, even in its base state. With some fine-tuning, this could be a contender for an optimal battle rifle, if you can mitigate the more leisurely ADS speed. So, nice to see something that seems to be a contender here, as we'll talk about in a second, a weapon that is probably going to get a lot of use here, perhaps, but beyond that, we also see and know of the secondary weapon here at the mid-season update of the Soulrender. This is a melee weapon, and it's said to be unlocked by Redacted. Now, if I'm a betting man, that matches up pretty well with the classified listed on the battle map of the Battle Pass, doesn't it? And not to mention, in recent seasons, going back to the middle of like last year with Modern Warfare 2, we saw a new sector introduced into the Battle Pass where you have to complete a few challenges in order to end up getting that weapon unlocked. That is the sort of reward for that Battle Pass tier sector. While I'm expecting this to be the case, I am kind of a bit bummed that we're going to be seeing a melee weapon in that spot, because this will be the first time we'll have probably a challenge set for a melee weapon. Usually it rewards you with a ranged weapon of some kind, but I feel like melee weapons should take secondary spots here at the seasonal updates and what's being introduced. Something that is in the back burner where you get 2 weapons at mid-season or something in that redacted segment of that battle pass, but just my opinion. Anyways, the details of this, it's listed as a ceremonial blade capable of razor-sharp cuts and deadly melee action in close quarters combat. Detailing it a little bit further, it says a vicious blade of impeccably forged steel. The Soulrender one-handed sword slices quickly and deeply. With rapid slashes, use your aim button while holding fire enables a guard stance. Release the guard for an instant slice, allowing for expert timing when rapidly approaching a victim. Offering excellent damage and better mobility than any of the other large melee weapons, take this into the fight when facing down the living or the undead. So this is a melee weapon that the key factor here with this is that it's the first weapon that will introduce a sort of block mechanic here. So I don't know if this means that you'll be able to like lightsaber it, where you'll be able to block bullets or anything, or if it's more so like blocking maybe incoming melee weapons. We don't quite know, but it's interesting that we'll see that new mechanic introduced with this Soulrender. But that said, that's the 2 weapons that we know of for Season 2 Reloaded, so that begs the question, being that it's only a ranged weapon and a melee weapon, well, are there going to be any more here at this? Because we've seen in Season 1 that we had 5 weapons across the season. Historically speaking, we have seen 4. The only thing that I think is weird about this comes back to what we already mentioned, where in the past, we've never had something that if this is introducing via weekly challenge and the battle pass, we've never had a melee weapon introduced as a challenge-based weapon reward in that battle pass. We saw it introduced as a part of one of the challenges for the battle pass sector, but not the overall reward. So it seems like we should be seeing one more because of that, right? Now, I'm not going to get my hopes up. I kind of think this is all we'll see here with this in regards to that melee weapon and the ranged weapon. But, I mean, I'd be pleasantly surprised if they do end up giving us another one, but I'm not going to count on it. Now, that said, where are these going to fit in the meta? Firstly, a melee weapon, we can get this one out of the way. Honestly, I don't see this being meta at all in either MP or in Warzone. It'll be cool for the melee players to have that blocking mechanic, but other than that, I don't see this fitting in really anywhere because, I mean, it's just a melee weapon. The SOA Subverter, though, on the other hand, does seemingly have potential to make its way into either the meta for Warzone or maybe even Modern Warfare 3. Modern Warfare 3 is a lot easier to fit into the meta because, again, stuff kills way faster. You don't have double the health as you do with armor in Warzone. But anyways, a 7.62 weapon with low recoil might actually have a place here. It's odd because when detailing this, it's quoted in one part stating to have a low rate of fire, but the very next second, that very next sentence, it says it has an excellent rate of fire. So we'll see which one actually is true here of those two, but if it's a low rate of fire weapon, I'd expect that to be the counterbalance to a higher damage weapon chambering 7.62 at that point. So meaning if you land shots, it's going to take less shots to kill by comparison to, say, a regular rifle. And they also mentioned that it is something that has decent handling in terms of either mobility, but also recoil control. So might actually be worth checking out here at this. But as always, with new weapons being introduced, we'll also see these having new implications for camos. Now, because it is a melee weapon and a ranged weapon, we're not going to see as many introduced here in regards to the overall total. You'll see 4 new additional camos introduced to the total number of camos you have on offer. Because of the challenges associated with the SOA Subverter, you'll have another one introduced with the melee weapon. So 5 camos new introduced total, but if you are somebody that's doing Interstellar, Borealis, you name it, it'll be something you can end up using the SOA Subverter to bolster out those number of weapons that you have, getting either priceless or serpentinite camos before you can end up unlocking those overall masteries. Again, as we talked about before, this is one of the nice parts here with this. The masteries are only the base weapons that you need, the base number of them. So if you have more assault rifles, you have more SMGs, more battle rifles, eventually you can end up skipping entire categories. If you don't want to do the SMGs, melees, launchers, you name it, you now probably have enough to skip at least one of those categories here with this across the new weapons introduced with Season 1 Reloaded, Season 2, and now Season 2 Reloaded. So you'll have that available here, which is definitely nice. Now, the other thing in regards to weaponry that's being introduced with Season 2 Reloaded is the new aftermarket parts here coming. We actually already know about all of these thanks to the blog detailing Season 2 at the very beginning before the season even launched. Now, so far, we've already seen 4 of these here at this. We've seen the Jack Tyrant kit for the longbow, the Jack Limb Ripper underbarrel attachment chainsaw, the Jack Maglift kit for the haymaker, and then the Jack Glassless optic for the optic from like Advanced Warfare that was introduced as of this past week. But that also means that because we have the SOA Subverter coming via weekly challenge, we know of every single one to close out the rest of the season. We'll see the Jack Burnout coming in that classified sector of the Battle Pass. We'll see the new Jack Backsaw kit for the Holger 5.56 that gives it a high-capacity drum magazine and a side-by-side barrel coming in a weekly challenge. And we'll end up seeing the Jack Outlaw 277 kit coming in a weekly challenge for the Bass B, where that transforms it into a lever-action rifle with a slower rate of fire, but vastly improving the accuracy if you are a precise shot. So you are going to have, again, new weapons, but also new aftermarket parts, which maybe can count as like a percentage of a weapon. I don't consider them new weapons, but they do transform the weapon in a degree that kind of makes them new to use in a various number of situations. In that case, it's new ways to use the weapons. But anyways, yeah, that is the weapons here coming with Season 2 Reloaded that you should know about and everything in between. So again, 2 new weapons, you'll have new camos coming along with the weapons, and new aftermarket parts to play around with as well. All of this launching as of this upcoming Wednesday, so make sure you stick it here on the channel for not only more coverage regarding Season 2 Reloaded, but make sure you jump in and check all these out while you have the opportunity to. But that said, that is where we're going to wrap it up. That is the weapons of Season 2 Reloaded that you should know about. So let me know your thoughts down below. You like what you hear so far? Not so much? Hoping for maybe another weapon that comes out of the blue? Whatever the case, drop your thoughts down below. But if you enjoyed the video, you found it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so there's a single thing running all things Modern Warfare 3, X-Defiant, Helldivers, Gray Zone Warfare, all kinds of other content here. Again, having a ton of fun going into variety stuff here at this. So hopefully you guys are enjoying, but if you'd like to join the community, I'd love to have you. But for now, thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you later. Take care and peace.